I think it's safe to say most people see sniping as a weak strategy in Enlisted. But why? And can you make it any good? Is it possible to make sniping in Enlisted a viable strategy? Firstly, let's talk about what sniping is in Enlisted and why it may or may not be a good strategy. So when you end up sniping in Enlisted, you usually are going to have to be using a sniper squad, and sniper squads are able to take 3 snipers, an engineer or a radio man, as well as an assaulter or an anti-tank soldier. I may be wrong, but I do think those are the specialists you can take, and I'm pretty sure it's limited to either 5 or 6 soldiers in total, so the 6th one would be like just a rifleman or something. So, not counting that they are specifically sniper soldiers, but is that squad lineup good? I would say an engineer and an AT is good enough. You know, that's an okay squad. Is a squad size of 5 any good? Kinda questionable. Radio squads are also 5 and have the similar setup, but with radio operators instead of snipers, and those squads don't get used. But that may just be because you can get radio operators in all your other squads, and it doesn't specifically have to be in a radio squad, but there are very few squads you can actually just put an actual sniper soldier into, which is the only way to actually access the sniper rifles in the game. Now, what is the playstyle of sniping? Now, you could play completely aggressive and just like pretend it's Call of Duty and run in and quickscope people, but I would say that's not really that ideal, especially considering, like, you know, it is an actual like sniper and people will just shoot you once and you'll die, whereas in Call of Duty you have a little bit more time for like people to react before they shoot you. Sniping in Enlisted is definitely like a long-range endeavor. Nice, there we go, that's our first kill of the entire match because I've spent the whole time running, basically. So as a sniper squad, you want to find good vantage positions that get you actively involved in the fight in some way, by either stopping enemies from reaching the objective or stopping enemies coming out of their spawn. As well as, you usually have a good enough position to actually spot all the enemy vehicles, and you can mark them for your team, which is quite useful. So yeah, there's one benefit for the sniper class, is you usually have a good vantage point, you can mark the vehicles for your team. That's benefit 1. Benefit 2 is, yes, you have the most powerful weapon at this kind of range. You have the accuracy and you have the scope magnification. These people cannot really fight back against me. And actually their AI soldiers won't hit me at this range. It's very rare for you to actually get shot back at this kind of range and actually die. In low tiers, players are usually less experienced, so they won't be like good enough to actually hit you back at this range without a scope. So you know you are actually pretty safe back here. Is there any more benefits to the sniper squad? No. I don't think there is. If there is one, it's not really that important. So I guess that leads into what are the downsides of using a sniper squad. Well, since your focus is on sniping at long range, you don't particularly have anything really that good for close range, unless you want to skip out on the AT soldier and bring an assaulter. But then that is just one assaulter soldier, and if he dies, you're stuck with like mostly bolt action snipers, and like, you know, that's not really that powerful. Now, since I am leveling the squad, what I'm going to do is just drop this sniper and then swap to the other soldier, since this guy has ammo for this gun. Now, I'm being mortared or shelled by a tank. The enemy are mad at me. So yeah, you're not able to actually get in close range and get the job done kind of thing. You are definitely relegated to sniping from the back and missing all your shots. Oh my goodness. Wow. This accuracy, horrific. So obviously, if your team needs soldiers, like actually in the objective to capture it, you can't do that at all as a sniper, because you're from the back, right? You're just sniping. So in an objective-based game, you're kind of relying on your team to carry you, to like actually capture the objectives and like win the game for you. So That's a pretty major drawback, that you're not really trying to win when you're playing with a sniper. I just got owned. Let's see if I can just revive myself. But yeah, any other drawbacks of the sniper class other than that you're completely relegated to long range? I mean, I guess we did mention the squad size of 5. That is definitely a drawback. It's pretty inflexible. You can't really bring a radio operator because that's taking the engineer slot. And I would say that if you're going to be not as useful to your team because you're sniping, you should at least probably have an engineer so you can get some rally points down for your team. Another drawback of sniping is that you actually need a good position to snipe from, which usually means it's going to take you a lot of time to run there. So, you know, you have a lot of downtime where you're not actually doing something, like the first like 2 minutes of this game where I was just running up to this hill. So that's downside number 2, and downside number 3 is you are a little bit map dependent because some maps just don't have good enough positions or sightlines for you to do anything as a sniper, really. I mean, this is like an okay kind of position here, and maybe on the other side of the map if I go all the way up on that hill, if the map allows me to go that far, that would be like an okay position. But yeah, some maps just don't have. It's very difficult to find like an actual position where you can see the enemy like in a useful position, you know. Seeing these guys back here, generally you'd be like, damn, if I can see the enemy in their spawn, that's not really that useful because those guys are not at the objective. But at least in this scenario, these guys are going to run straight towards B, so I guess I am contributing to the objective in some way here, right? Like a little bit. I need to move again. I guess downside number 4 is every time you get spotted, you're going to have to move, and then you just die anyway, so you know. Let's drop this gun here, let's try and find my sniper rifle again, because I would like to keep using it. So yeah, sniping comes with a lot of downsides, and you're not really contributing to winning the game. So how do we alleviate some of the issues of the sniper class? Well, you can snipe from a... Oh, okay, he died to somebody else, I thought my shot somehow missed there. So you can play in a much more aggressive position, sort of like this position I'm in now, where you're much closer to the action, meaning you are shooting enemies that are playing for the objective instead of just random soldiers running around. And your shots are a bit easier, so your kills per minute is a lot higher. I think making the sniper class viable definitely involves a lot of... Damn, can you shut up? Damn, this plane is loud as hell! That's rude! Yeah, I think to make the sniper class viable, you definitely need to be getting a lot of kills per minute, and they do have to be like some sort of impact on the game, these kills. They can't just be killing random soldiers, it needs to be people playing on the objective. What you'll see is a lot of sniper players, and they just go behind their own team spawn and they snipe from there. And it's like, first off, what? You're not seeing anybody, so you're not killing anybody, so you get like 3 kills, and the 3 people you did kill, they just were not important kills at all. I don't like that this is an odd number on my reload, so I'm just gonna like fire a random bullet. It's annoying me. Does that annoy anybody else? One annoying thing is that the grass gets in the way a lot. You gotta like crawl through the grass and push it over. That guy was trying to snipe me. Oh. I can't see anything. My dream would be to actually get a plane kill with a sniper rifle. Not even close. But I keep going for them, because one day I might just get a lucky hit. Okay, I saw that enemy up here on the right, so I'm going to have to reposition a little bit further back, because I'm getting aggressed on. I'm being hunted a little bit. Where was he? Now one thing I keep doing is the scope at the closer ranges tricks me a little bit. It makes me feel like I'm a little bit further away. So I'm leading the target too much for such a short range and just completely missing my shots. So one thing you might not know for sniping, and I mean I guess this applies generally as well, but it does come up more with sniping, is when you shoot people when they spawn, they have spawn protection. But that usually takes, I think it's either 10 or 15 seconds to go away. But if they move a certain distance away from their spawn point, no matter the time, the spawn protection immediately wears off. So you can kind of figure out how far people need to run from their spawn point for the spawn protection to fade away, and make use of that. So, have I been useful this game? 38, 0, 4 objective kills. Although a lot of my kills have been in this area, at least I'm not directly affecting people on the zone, but I'm stopping people getting to the zone, right? So those kills have been like impactful. Is this really useful? Like, I've not captured this zone. This zone is under enemy control, but I'm not encouraged to go and capture it myself because my weapon would be very ineffective. So like, am I actually being useful, or is my team just carrying me and I'm just here for the ride to farm some kills and play for myself kind of thing, you know? Now, if I were to come to some sort of conclusion for if sniping is viable in Enlisted, I think the first thing I must say is that I am not even dreaming of playing like this in higher tiers. So I think that kind of answers the question. Is sniping viable? For directly trying to win the game, I don't think it's that viable. Can you make it more viable? You can definitely be more useful to your team. You need to position aggressively enough that you're denying the people trying to get to the objectives. Those are the kills you need to be making, and if you are making those kills, even if it's a slightly slower pace, those are still slightly impactful. So I would say you can at least be sort of useful, although there will be times where your team just needs more people on the objective. You can't do that as a sniper. So you are kinda not helping your team to win in those scenarios. So I'd say there is definitely situations where sniping is not viable at all, and situations where it's like kinda viable, it's not really that impactful. It's not a priority in this game to be sniping. I think in a game like Hell Let Loose, which is a much bigger maps and more members per team, and players are only controlling one character at a time, kills are a lot more impactful, and snipers can also communicate more with their team to locate where all the enemies are, as well as you have like the spotter for you, and I think it's a much more impactful and viable role in that game. But I think in most games, like Battlefield, BattleBit, Enlisted, sniping is not a viable strategy, and you should not be doing it outside of like the odd time you want to have fun or something. It's not a good strategy. Anyway, hopefully you maybe learned something from this about sniping. Maybe you enjoyed the sniper footage. Not that these shots were particularly difficult this game, but you know, sometimes it's fun to just be useless and sit at the back of the map. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.